Hi, my name is Ralph and you're watching 2hp.com. And today we have a special guest, a new Mercedes GLS. For those who are already lost in all the abbreviations, its previous name is GL. Only close-minded marketers wouldn't be able to explain that the letter S at the end of GL means S-Class in the world of huge 7-seater premium SUVs. Germans are smart, so they've used this tip. Now GLS looks like a small scouting tank of a VIP armored vehicle. It's sophisticated and kind of conservative and modern at the same time. With such a dimension as 5-meter length and 1 meter 85 centimeters height, its important doesn't look like overfeed cow or like a tremendous rhinoceros with the small legs. So the engineers saved the car from the first look and used 21-inch rims for avoiding this second option. 10 years ago you could find such a label plate only on a big Mercedes, on trucks. Now all the SUVs and even light motor vehicles have it. I guess it won't be easy for a label stealer to carry it home easily. The car looks expressive or even monumentally. It's not overloaded with extra details. And maybe the reason is that the designers were not enamored of all-around decoration. The interiors of GLS and GLE looks the same, and it's obvious as both of them are Mercedes. Its external size is proven by the interior dimension. A great deal of a free space is here. Of course, such a beautiful white color and a roof insert gives more flail space. The ceiling is done of Alcantara and decorates a car with premiality. And nothing is perfect without the rhombus. I've also enriched my car interior with rhombus, thanks to Center company, which is always on trend in car industry. Mercedes also respects rhombus, and they are here. Looks nice. Without any doubt, the GLS interior is an example of premiality. Obviously, it's quite good. Everything is comfortable and functional. But if we look at Audi Q7 and Volvo XC90, it becomes clear that analog instrumentation is receding into the past. It's changed for color media display with the perfect graphics and good information abilities. And it's not just a story of premium cars, even not expensive Citroën already owns color media display. The only explanation in this case is that Mercedes is quite conservative brand and its customers might not be fond of high-tech rush. The car has several transmission modes. You can select individual settings, sport, winter, rain, comfort and even off-road mode. Moreover, the suspension can be adjusted, which means that you can raise the ground clearance and it will happen automatically at your wish. Remember, Mercedes is always ready to save each your calorie, for you to look the same, well-fed and round as me. Press a button and watch a miracle. Press the second button and the next miracle happens. But I have to warn you, Mercedes will save not all of your calories, as this story doesn't work in the opposite way. You need to use all your physical vigor to adjust the seats back. And if you're a small, tiny lady, it will be a real challenge for you, but hopefully it won't happen so often. In spite of the fact that GLS owns 3 rows of seats, it's enough place at the second row. Let me repeat one more time, this is a big car, like it must be in all premium cars. Here we have a climate control and a seat heater, and if you look at this cover you'll see Bang & Olufsen name, which automatically means that under it a sound column is hidden and a car is equipped with a high-quality music system. The GLS creators know their main markets perfectly – USA, the Middle East and Russia. The consumer profile is also clear. In USA it's a premium SUV for a big family. In the Middle East it's a family and mature metrosexual car. In Russia it's a car for security service and oilers from two men who suddenly run into money and big family. Different profiles, but the one desire. Everybody wants the third seat row and the spacious luggage compartment. Among the European SUVs, GLS has the biggest trunk, which varies from 680 liters to 2,300 liters, depending on the amount of a fold-down seat rows. Frankly speaking, I'm already jealous of the Russian oil man who will pick up many beautiful girls and some vodka and even a bear with a balalaika, as a place for a bear will be also provided. We have GLS 350 sign on our car. That means that under the cowl is a 3-liter V6 diesel engine is located. A promised fuel consumption is 7.1 liters, as maybe you'll get such a result if you drive economically. For now we have 9 liters, but nevertheless we have a test drive and are inspired to go faster, especially on the mountain spiral highway around Innsbruck. The car owns the automatic 9-speed transmission gearbox. For you to not feel disadvantaged, I told you so, that an analogy exists between the Mercedes trucks and SUVs. A transmission gearbox guarantees you a good smooth ride, traditional for Mercedes. The suspension is aromatic, it's retuned, it has become more comfortable now, and it's good in cornering. It's enough complex engineering solution, as usually not expensive cars are perfectly going straight, but are rolling in corners or are rigid in both ways, straight and in corners. Mercedes is not that type of a car. It's adapting to the road pavement, it's adapting to your driving manner. The whole storyline might be dedicated to the description of active and passive safety. Being brief, like other innovative companies, Mercedes is confidently going ahead in creation of a car which won't need a driver anymore. During the test drive, I've liked the traffic sign recognition system, the multimedia system, computer graphics and discrete electronic assistance during the dangerous cornering. Frankly speaking, with such a good electronics, it's almost impossible to find a collision at a speed of 60–70 km per hour. Only if you're a real airhead. I'm already repeating it more than once. The GLS is a big car, and here with 3 liters is more than enough for it. But it might have other engines. Of course, GLS with 6-cylinder turbo diesel engine is just a beginning of a story. Nevertheless, it's time to accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour in 8 seconds, and 620 Nm of torque can give diesel performance a real fright. Further goes GLS 400, 500 and human goes AMG GLS 63. The GLS 400 is equipped with a V6 B-turbo gasoline engine. It generates 333 horsepower. 500 has V8 B-turbo engine with a capacity of 455 horsepower and 70 Nm. For sure, the most powerful is AMG 5.5 liters V8 B-turbo. Its capacity is 585 horsepower, 760 Nm, 0 to 100 in 4.6 seconds. Not all the sport cars have such a power, by the way. All the car versions except AMG are equipped with a new 9-speed transmission gearbox 9G-tronic, which is optionally combined with a low-range gearbox and center differential lock. And the result is that before it was quite hard to feel the moment of Mercedes transmission shift, and now in a comfort mode it's almost impossible. Of course, the transmission also works at engine fuel economy. For example, 3 liters turbo diesel engine with 620 Nm of torque might have the fuel consumption 7.5 liters. Recently, I've tested Mercedes GLE and I felt like I was driving a light motor vehicle. Now I feel myself on the contrary in GLS. I definitely feel its size and weight, but it's not bad, as the car is predictable and comprehensible. I would call it as friendly. And the most interesting remark is, sometimes in acceleration GLS requires to downshift till the 6th speed. Yes, it sounds strange, especially when you have 6-speed transmission. Among transmission modes, comfort, slippery and sport, the additional individual and the off-road options for light terrain exist. You can also choose a real off-road mode. Alongside the low-range gearbox, the center differential lock, the efforts of the air suspension Airmatic are added, which can raise the ground clearance height up to 306 mm and thus affording depth up to 600 mm. The reinforced underfloor paneling of this equipment variant protects important components against hard ground contact. All transmission modes are visualized in the central media display. Especially impressive are the off-road animations, from the slope angle to the steering angle. Of course, all the GLS versions are enhanced by 4-matic transmission, with a symmetrical torque distribution between the front and rear axle. It's worth to mention that engineers have returned the Airmatic air suspension. Thanks to the advanced ADS damping system and a great deal of different sensors, up to a chosen transmission mode, the safety system is always aware of a slide prevention. That is, if you haven't mentioned big multimedia screens inside the car, it doesn't mean the lack of powerful computer and advanced electronics. GLS is doing its best to be a functional car. That's why you'll find a button here and close to a driver's seat which activates the trailer hitch. Of course, some of you will mention that have already seen this option in Volkswagen Passat. But look, we are pressing this button for the second time and it's disappearing, forced by the electrical power. You don't have it in Volkswagen, so a kick is a must. The optional trailer coupling features trailer stabilization, and the brake towing capacity of the GLS is up to 3.5 tons. Compared to other variations, AMG is equipped with a 7G-tronic transmission and Sport Plus mode, which features short response times and without looking back at fuel consumption economy. Eco mode also exists. In a speed range between 60 and 160 km per hour, the engine is ready to save fuel. For that purpose, the engine is disengaged from the driveline and idles. A torque has a rear-biased split of 40 to 60 between the front and rear axle. The suspension and steering control are fitted with a fast-speed drive and minimal rolls of the car. Well, actually, I have liked GLS. I'm sure that it's a great opponent for Audi Q7 and Volvo XC90. If we have a possibility, we'll definitely organize a benchmark. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel 2hp.com.